What's poppin', everybody? This your boy SSLJ.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Infinite Pain.
And this is the same
Lucia
Alliance. Alright, everybody, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, we was going to do an episode 1 review, but there was a lot of questions that we had. We wasn't quite sure what we was talking about. We haven't read the manga, so we're not quite sure. So, of course, in the title below, it's going to sit back and say review of episode 1 and 2. Because in episode 2, a lot of our questions got answered. Yeah. So, now let's go ahead and break it down so far quickly what's going on in episodes 1 and 2. So, of course, you got Sasaki.
Yeah,
I believe
Sasaki.
Sasaki, yes, I'm sorry. Sasaki, who
Hasei,
is,
or whatever you want to say his name is.
Who is going ahead and is the first degree investigator.
So he's the head of his team.
Right, he is half Ghoul. You have on his team, you have Yuri, and I forget the other chick and the guy name, but it's this, and there's another one that we found out in episode 2.
And she's a third rate.
A third degree investigator. So that's his little squad. And then you got Mado, the female, who is from, of course, everybody knows if you've seen Tokyo Ghoul, who was the daughter of one of the main investigators, one of the older gentleman investigators, who got killed off by
the daughter of the doctor and the doctor of normal people who also worked on ghouls.
Yes.
And then the mother, who's also just really good, great friends and shit with the people at Anteki.
Right. So with that being said, those are basically your main thing, and the main synopsis so far, when we get ahead of what Tokyo Ghoul Re is basically this event is happening about 2 years after the big brawl, the big old fight that they had at the end of Tokyo Ghoul.
Humans won.
Right. Even though this isn't technically a continuation of Tokyo Ghoul, they kind of tied it in.
Yeah.
So this is a 2-year mark after that, and then we come to find out in episode 2 that a lot of these quints, I guess is how you want to say it, is humans that have gone ahead and gotten part ghouls put inside of them, how Kaneki had in Tokyo Ghoul, which made Kaneki a one-eyed ghoul, which was half human, half ghoul. Yeah. So now you have these one-eyed ghouls working with the investigators that are trying to get rid of all of the real threats of the actual ghouls that are going on in, all the different parts of Japan and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things to try and unpackage of what's going on here so far. You got Sasaki, that at the end of episode 1, you saw Kaneki in him. So now the question is Sasaki Kaneki, or did Sasaki have Kaneki put inside of him? Now, what we've come up with, because granted, none of us read the manga, was that... Go ahead, I'm going to let you
I think that what it is that... So who we're looking at right now is Kaneki, okay? But the thing is, at the end of Tokyo Ghoul Re, okay, Tokyo Ghoul Route A, we saw that Kaneki walked up with his best friend in his arms up into the investigators. And at that point, we can assume that he went ahead and surrendered himself to the humans, okay? So in that 2-year gap that we just don't know what happened, we can either what we believe, okay, is that Kaneki turned himself in, agreed to go underpart this investigation and not so much interrogation, but a way for basically the people of the investigators to get more information on him as him being a human and ghoul. They probably did experiments on him, XYZ tests and all that good jazz. But within that, what I think happened is that within that time period, they went ahead, erased his memory of the past however many years that's happened to him, and basically made him anew. So trained him to be an investigator. Okay?
But they couldn't get all of it.
Yes, but they couldn't get everything.
And they know that, which is why they said that. Hey,
because they were after
he went crazy. Yeah, not that. Yeah. But remember, also in episode 2, you had it to where it was like, hey, he went out of control again. Yeah. So they knew there was no way they could suppress it all.
So they found out. So I think they've gotten to it to where now they have it under control, obviously. But that's why they said in there, when he's human, treat him as an investigator. But when he goes ghoul, take him out, eliminate him, okay? So I think that they went ahead and erased his memory. They couldn't get rid. They got rid of his human side, which is what was maintainable and controllable. But his ghoul side that has been tainted with Reese and with Jason, those things were so traumatizing and so overpowering that aspect of his ghoul self stayed. Now with that, I think since they've made other one-eyed ghouls, that they found a way to repress it to where they can, like I said, repress it down to that certain percentage, how they said you have stage 1 through 5. Now they've gotten to where they may not be able, they can repress a certain limit of Kaneki's quote-unquote power, ghoul powers that he has. Okay?
And consciousness.
And conscious, so that way it doesn't overtake his human side, because he already explained that I don't remember the past 20 years of my life, but I remember these last two. And then, but he also acknowledges that the people that he knows isn't his real family. So he said, even though they may be a pretend family, so we know that he understands that this life that he lived
is only temporary.
Is only temporary, exactly. But he also knows that at any given point in time, he could probably go back and originate to his former self, which some people wouldn't be mad at. No. Other people would be like, I don't want to happen. But like I said,
but I think that's a great dynamic for what Tokyo Ghoul Re is going.
It's perfect.
Which is going to make it compelling. Which I plan to go and read the manga. Like I said, just if I ever have time to with all the other different animes and stuff I'm trying to keep track on and be on social media like that. I like the fact that now there's an inner struggle because you're going to have those that are going to want Kaneki back, but then you're going to have those that are going to become Sasuke fans. You're going to have those that are going to be fans of this group that he has as they watch him grow.
At the same time,
but then you got the old crew, which they brought back in episode 2.
We got 3 out of the 5, son. 3 out of the 5, okay?
Because at the end we saw Toka, which was a very touching scene, which is something that you pointed out that I didn't even realize that when Sasuke cried, he only cried out of that one eye.
The eye. That was the ghoul eye. That's always the eye he cries out of. That's the eye that Kaneki is known to cry out of. Because at the very end, he ended up crying out of both eyes. But that's one thing. But that's just different. But throughout the anime, up until that end part, he's always only cried out of the ghoul eye, which is funny. I lied. He cried out of, that's always the eye he cried of his human side. His ghoul eye had the red blood that one time that he cried out, or tears, blood, whatever. But the right side, whatever side it was that he was looking at, that's the side that he always cries out of, which is his human side. But that's only when someone tried to remind him of his human self. And usually, at one time it was Toka, at another time it was when he was fighting that investigator, Amin, investigator Amin. And a couple other times. So that's another thing now was that kind of like they added a memento in to kind of hint that, this is, of course, Kaneki, but there's a twist.
If you've never watched Tokyo Ghoul Re should make you want to go back and rewatch it.
You won't be disappointed.
And you won't be disappointed, but here's the thing. You cannot bank on everything that happened in Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul Re to go into Tokyo Ghoul Re, because it's not. This is kind of this own storyline set thing going, but it has a lot of intriguing elements so far just in the first 2 episodes that, to me, even though we're only getting 12 episodes, I believe, for this season, it's very important that we support Tokyo Ghoul Re so they continue it going. Plus, they're condensing a lot of chapters from what I'm hearing into these episodes.
They have like over 100 chapters.
Yeah, so I think right now in the 2 episodes they've already bridged the gap of 7 chapters already, 8 chapters already just in the 2 episodes. But that just makes it more imperative for you to want to read the manga so you can get an even more in-depth detail of exactly what's happening. Also with Tokyo Ghoul Re, I love how the animation style is kind of still similar to what Tokyo Ghoul was. It's a bit better, of course, after all these years you expect it to be. But I still like how it has that dark undertone that's still going on, because at the end, this is a dark anime. At the end of the day, no matter how you slice it, this is a dark anime that you have ghouls that terrorize and eat humans, and then you have investigators that are trying to eliminate them. At the end of the day, that's what it is. It's got gore going on to it, but there are a lot of different underlying storylines that are going to be happening that are going to be very, very intriguing. Now, when it comes to the opening of Tokyo Ghoul Re, first episode I saw it, I watched it, I was like, But then the second episode I watched, you know what? I like the opening. I think the opening is great. I think the music is great. To me, it's a whole lot better than that trash they did with Route A, which we don't even... That shit was bad.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking about that one.
As far as the ending, I don't care too much about the ending music and all that type of stuff. That's okay. Anything else I'm trying to think of as far as the first 2 episodes that we got? The big shocker was realizing it was that Sasuke was ended up fighting. Who was it starts with an O. Orochi or something like that. Who was the ghoul that was at first at the end of episode 1 taking out everybody on Sasuke's team. And then when Sasuke came, Sasuke got the better of him, even though he had to tap into Kaneki's side of him basically already, and realized that's how it was. And that was the first note to be like, yo, okay, so the old crew is still here.
1 out of the 5 at that point.
Right. So now, like I said, it's a lot of different things. So now you have to figure out going into episode 3, what is going to be the relationship now between Sasuke and Toka, because Toka knows that's Kaneki.
She knows.
She knows. Everybody knows that is Kaneki. Whoever's been around him knows for a fact who that is. So the simple fact of the matter is that Sasuke, and here's the thing, I think Sasuke knows 100% what's going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Sasuke also told boy, I don't think you should want to know everything about me. So Sasuke knows exactly who he is. but it's everybody on his team that doesn't know.
Exactly.
So I'm going to be intrigued to see how his team is going to take it slowly but surely as his information gets revealed to himself. But out of the first 2 episodes, if I had to give him a rating, I think the first episode was a solid 7.5.
I give it a 7.
Episode 2, I'd give it an 8. 8.5 is what I would give it, because there were a lot of surprises that were thrown out at me, things I was not anticipating.
And we got a lot of memorable moments as far as from Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah, with Tokyo, I love seeing the coffee shop again.
Yeah, exactly.
And the way he was able to smell the coffee.
Yeah, but
exactly what
I love the little. It's the small details. I like how on the sign that they said "re," as in like in re. Typically, sometimes when we say "re," it can be stand for reopening. It can stand for revitalizing. Like there's a bunch of different ways and terms that it can be used. But the simple fact that they have it set up where it just says "re:" and then it says coffee, this and this and this. It's just great. And then, like you said, when it comes to he walks in like, oh, I remember this fragrance. Even though Sasuke has never been there,
he's never been.
It's never been there. But another thing is we know it's Kaneki has been there. Then we taste the coffee. Oh, I remember this great taste. You know why? Because
so my thing is, if you don't want to watch Tokyo Ghoul Re because you fell in love with Kaneki and he's not here, Kaneki is here.
He's right.
Sasuke is Kaneki.
Yeah.
Basically. That's basically who he is. So it's almost just a point of waiting until Kaneki virtually just reemerges. Yeah. Which is going to be great because, like I said, it's so many, because you still got Torso that's out there.
Yeah.
Wrecking Havoc, they got to figure it out.
He just joined the Agori.
Right, and then their hand. No, I don't even think that wasn't Torso. That was just a random guy. I don't even think that was Torso.
Was that Torso? Yeah, that was Torso. That was talking to Toga's brother.
Oh, what?
Took his brother because he was like, remember, he's like, it's hard to once you join the Agori to get out, and then he remember because he looked.
No, I remember. I just thought maybe
he saw the green hair chick off of Sasuke's team, and he was like, I think he's saying if I use the Agori, I can get back to her because I think now he wants to eat her
probably
because she's the one who got away.
So you got all that going on. So now, and I believe that was Toka's brother.
I thought it was Toka. That's why I say we met 3 out of the 5 because it's Toka's brother, Toka, and then old boy, whatever his name is.
And then you got the one that was at the coffee shop.
Oh yeah.
So it's 4.
So we're missing 4 out of the 6.
Yeah, so it's 4 out of the 6.
Because we need Black Hounds and we need the Great Apes.
Yes. So we got so much that's going on that's happening in Tokyo Ghoul Re that to me is a very great watch. For the first 2 episodes, I think they're starting off very well for an anime that had been gone for almost 4 years.
Or Red Gorillas, one of the 2.
Yeah, something like that. But I think it was the Devil Dogs and the Red Apes.
Yeah, I think it was that, the Devil Dogs and the Red Apes.
So I think in this 3-4 year span, Tokyo Ghoul's been gone. Tokyo Ghoul Re has done a great job in the first 2 episodes to help get you back reintroduced to older characters and still make it an appealing series for you to go ahead and want to watch. So, like I said, I highly recommend people getting into Tokyo Ghoul Re. I'm very much excited into it. We're going to give you weekly reviews, our synopsis. We already looked at the previews for episode 3. I don't know what the hell I was looking at, so I'm just really waiting.
They did a great job of not trying to put anything out there. If I really sat back and rewatched deep, slowed it down, slow mo, I could probably piece something together, but it's not worth it.
No, it's not that worth it.
It's not that crucial.
So we're just going to sit back, watch it week by week. We're going to go ahead and give y'all a weekly review. So once again, this is your boy SSLJ.
It's your boy Infinite Pain.
And we're going to holler at you in the next one. And we out.